Hi there, welcome to Bible for the Busy Woman with me, Melissa Younger. Today we're going to be looking at Matthew 4, 12 through 17, and there are 3 sections in that. So let's jump right into the text, starting in verse 12. When he heard that John had been arrested, he withdrew into Galilee. This is talking about Jesus. And leaving Nazareth, he went and lived in Capernaum by the sea in the territory of Zebulun and Naphtali. Basically, Jesus was being tempted by the devil in this area. I don't know how well you can see that. There was the wilderness in Judea, and then basically he is retreating up here into Galilee and to Capernaum, which is right on the Sea of Galilee, if you can see that. And you might also notice that here is Nazareth, which is Jesus' hometown where he had grown up. So that's just to give you a quick idea of where he's retreating to, kind of going back to his roots. And the reason that he does that is because John the Baptist has been arrested. And the reason John the Baptist has been arrested, which we don't really find out until later in the book of Matthew, is that basically Herod had taken his brother's wife. And John the Baptist spoke out against this. And so Herod didn't like that. He arrested him. And there were also possibly some political implications in that. Maybe John the Baptist, he saw him as a threat. So anyways, John is arrested. Jesus realizes, you know what, I'm associated with his ministry. I'm going to flee. Okay, it's not his time yet. And we're going to see that come up a number of times when Jesus is sort of moving away from danger. And then there's this fulfillment of Isaiah 9, 1-2, if we read on, so that what was spoken by the prophet Isaiah might be fulfilled, the land of Zebulun and Naphtali, the way of the sea, beyond the Jordan, Galilee of the Gentiles. The people dwelling in darkness have seen a great light, and for those dwelling in the region and shadow of death, on them a light has dawned. And so this is from Isaiah 9, and the previous chapter had talked about Assyria being like a rising river that's going to come over Judah and break the people because they didn't listen to God's gentle streams that he had sent to them, some warnings along the way. And God had told Isaiah not to fear what the Israelites feared, because they were kind of being superstitious at that time and involving necromancers and stuff and trying to understand what was going on. But God wanted Isaiah and his people really to be different than this. God will be a sanctuary and a stone of offense and a stumbling to both houses of Israel. And then the land will be covered in gloom and darkness. But this gloom will lift, and God will make glorious the way of the sea. So there's this kind of extended water metaphor here, where they're being kind of washed away, and now the way of the sea is coming, which is good. And Jesus is this great light that is being spoken of, and this hope, right? Because they were punished for a time, but now Jesus is the light in the darkness, and he's coming. And so the last verse 17 says, "From that time Jesus began to preach, saying, 'Repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand.'" Now, you might remember that John the Baptist was preaching this exact same message. And there's a reason for that, right? He was the forerunner to Jesus. Now Jesus is kind of taking over that ministry, only he's moved it north. So just to wrap this up, the light has dawned for the Jewish people, and Jesus is taking over John's ministry. And we'll see John's followers start to follow after him. So the application for today is that Jesus offers hope to us, and he's the light for us in this dark world. And so I just want to ask you today, are you placing your hope in Jesus, or are you placing it in something else? So thank you for listening today, and you can go ahead and subscribe if you'd like to see more of these videos. And I appreciate likes and comments as well. I'd love to hear from you. So let's stay in the Word and seeking the Lord together.